The moon is still shining over the Poudre Canyon as runners arrive for the start of the Colorado Marathon.
It's a beautiful course, running down with the snow melt coming down the Poudre Canyon. Nothing prettier, nothing prettier.
They have come from every state in the nation and several other countries to share their passion for running.
Group from Oklahoma City Running Club came out here last year. I was up here in February for a work trip and drove the course, and it looked like a good one, so I signed up, and here I am.
Some are dedicated marathon runners. For others, this will be a new experience.
Why? Wanted a challenge, and it's something to check off my to-do list.
She inspired me.
Have you run this before?
No, this is my first time at the Colorado Marathon. Yeah, it'll be very exciting. Downhill. Yeah. Downhill's the right direction.
Well, we did Miami, so we got the beaches, and then we did Nashville, so we got the twang, and so now we're going to do the river, so it'll be cool.
The runners are filled with anticipation and perhaps some apprehension.
Are you nervous?
Yes. But it's Mother's Day, and my kids will be at the finish line. So.
Exactly. I don't know if you know what it's 26 miles. If I mentioned that, that's the nerve part.
Have a great race, guys!
As the starting siren sounds, 1,000 runners head down the canyon. Soon, they are warmed by the rising sun.
It's a great thing, especially in the morning, right at sunrise, in the shade, in the mountains. It's perfect.
The first 17 miles of this course are on a state highway that has practically no traffic so early in the day, so the runners have plenty of room to maneuver and pass. And it's downhill following the flow of the river, dropping more than 1,100 feet over the course of the marathon.
Downhill on our course is a good thing because it's a runnable downhill. It's a very gradual downhill, and it doesn't beat your legs like a really steep downhill. It's still downhill, but it's not, you know, that kind of flailing, really steep downhill and rolling. It's just a gradual downhill, follows the river from the canyon to the finish, and that's just the laws of gravity.
That helps make the Colorado Marathon a fast course. About 15% of the runners qualify for the Boston Marathon.
Usually get a little bit of a tailwind, so it's a fast course. It's a good Boston qualifier, so a lot of people come, certainly in the Rocky Mountain region, to run this course to get their qualifying time for Boston.
Whether they're running to qualify for Boston or to achieve a personal best, all of the runners are inspired by the scenic course.
It's so serene. I mean, the river flowing, I mean, it just makes you want to run fast. And I mean, yeah, it's one of the most beautiful courses I've ever run. So, and it's just so peaceful too, because, you know, the first 5-6 miles, really, it's just runners. Runners, you know, running along the Poudre. I mean, there's not really any crowds or people out there, and it's kind of nice. It's kind of peaceful.
Yeah, it's great. It's just running in nature and being surrounded by like mountains and trees and water. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
The most scenic course in America, running down the Poudre River Canyon, especially on a day like this where you get to see the sunrise running down the river. You have an amazing course, and then you take that and you add what we believe to be a very well-run event, and you have the recipe for success.
Heed, water in the back, heed, heed.
To make the marathon a success, it takes hundreds of volunteers, many of them runners themselves. They staff a dozen aid stations along the route and make sure the runners stay healthy.
Every year you can have people that pull off the course with dehydration and things like that, and the marathon and half, you know, they're ultra type things. I mean, they test the body pretty significantly, and if you have a bad day, you can pay for it.
The Colorado Marathon donates as much as $30,000 each year to numerous beneficiaries that help supply the volunteers necessary to put on such a large event. An hour after the marathon starts and 13 miles down the canyon, Another 1,500 runners set off for the half marathon. And 1,000 more runners will compete today in a 10K and 5K race.
Say, waiting for Mama. Hey! Good job, hon. There she goes.
After leaving the canyon, the runners move to a bike trail that follows the Poudre River into Fort Collins. It's a wide path with plenty of room for the runners, and there's no traffic to worry about. Conditions for the 2010 race are ideal, and new course records are set in both the men's and women's half marathon, as well as the 10K and 5K runs.
Course record right there. Outstanding run, dear. 1:15 in approximately 40.
I just made a course record by almost 2 minutes, so I'm happy with that.
I knew the course record was 1:10:43, and I knew they had a nice little payout and prize for the course record. So I said, what the heck, and I went ahead and went for it, and I felt good the whole way, and was running pretty consistent. The weather cooperated. It was perfect.
Boy, outstanding marathon. 26 miles. Daniel Kinney from Denver, Colorado. Unbelievable marathon, Daniel.
No matter what their time, everyone who crosses the finish line feels like a winner.
Just beautiful coming down the canyon. Wish you had a camera. So beautiful course. And then of course as you get towards the finish, a lot of good support.
The Colorado Marathon has become so popular that registration for the full and half marathons are now capped months before the race. The 10K and 5K are also reaching capacity and may cap as well.
Teresa Rosasco, Chandra Machine.
The race is, of course, the main event at the Colorado Marathon, but it's not the only event. During registration before the race, the Marathon Expo gives runners a chance to look over the latest in running shoes and clothing and other gear for outdoor sports. And this is where the runners can get answers to the questions they may have about the race.
We get everybody from a beginner to a seasoned marathoner. We have people here that have done, they're 50 staters. They've done a marathon in every state, or they're working towards that goal. So, we try to steer them in the right direction.
And after the race, many of the runners gather for an awards ceremony. It's a chance to savor and share their experiences and to cheer for the winners.
I knew coming out of the canyon I had a fairly good lead. I couldn't see any women behind me. So just tried to stay strong and hang in there. It was a little rough the last couple of miles, but I hung on, so did what I needed to do.
Daniel Kinney from Denver, first place marathon finisher again.
I was expecting to run a bit faster, but I'll take the win.
It's nice to win a trophy, of course.
You look great!
But for most of the runners, the real reward comes from finishing the race.
Well, I didn't stop. I ran the whole way. It's Mother's Day and my mom passed away last year, so kind of running it in her honor.
I made the Boston by 15 seconds, my first marathon, so I'm proud.
Weed killer, Dina Stryer from Middleburg Heights, Ohio. Is that
the race was amazing. The weather turned out great, and the trail was very scenic and beautiful, and this was great.
I love the course. It's great. It's set up because I live here in Fort Collins, so I study, work, and play up the Poudre Canyon. So it's great to run this race and come down and be able to finish right here in my hometown.
You cannot explain what it feels like to cross the finish line of a marathon and that personal accomplishment. And it doesn't matter where you finish or what your time is. It's crossing that line and that accomplishment. You have to experience it. You can't describe it.